Hello my crafty lovelies, welcome back to Scrappy Fabric Friday. So today I am going to use some of these pieces to create a container. This is all fabric scraps and it just turned out so awesome. I am really pleased with it. I just used fabric, bits of ribbon, different fabrics for texture, and these little flowers with netting on them, edges of the selvage edge of fabric. I have a strip of fabric around the top for extra strength, and it is just really awesome. Great project to make. You can use anything as a mold. I will show you in a minute what I'm going to do in my process, but after having done this one, I think that I would make the layers a little bit thicker, do a few more layers, but it is really quite sturdy and it's still drying, but I think it's really awesome. So I am going to say that as an addendum, after having done a second one, that you don't necessarily need to water down the Mod-Podge. It's a little bit easier to use when you're doing your layers, which you want multiple layers, like I said. But after I was finished and after it had dried for a couple of hours, I did go back and put a thick layer of Mod-Podge on the inside and on the outside of this little pot. And I think that that did help. I don't know if I would do full concentrate Mod-Podge through the whole project, but yeah, you might want to just pay attention to that and do whatever you think is best for you. I think this, like I said, it was an experiment for me. I've never done this before. I have done paper, but not fabric, and fabric is more dense and it will soak up quite a bit more Mod-Podge, and so I think that doing a lighter layers of Mod-Podge will help it dry quicker. But I don't know, you know, it's just play around with it, but it's definitely a project worth trying because it's just so fun. Okay, so let's get started. As you can see, I've got a bunch of scraps of fabric, and so all you need is some watered down Mod-Podge. And you can use matte medium, you could use Elmer's glue, whatever you want to use, just some kind of a glue. And I did about a 2-to-1 mixture, maybe a little more, maybe 2.5 to 1. And then any kind of container that you want, a bowl, a plate, a plastic container like this, the only thing you need to do is to wrap it in saran wrap first. You need to cover the entire surface that you're going to Mod-Podge onto, and then make sure that it's kind of smooth. You don't want a lot of lumps and bumps in the plastic, so just, you know, I just kind of went like this around the container to make sure that it was smooth. And then you just start gluing, and you can, I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. The one thing that I did find that was more helpful is perhaps to put some longer strips down first, or if you want the inside of the container to be just as decorative, put down one layer but put the fabric face down, and then when you put your second layer on top, then that will be covered, but the inside will be just as colorful as the outside. So I am going to, what am I going to do on this one? Maybe I will get a few fabric strips to put down first. I want to try that and see how that works. So let me grab some fabric strips. Okay, so I have a few strips of fabric, so I'm going to try this first, and we'll see how this one turns out compared to the first one that I did. Now you can choose to use a brush, or you could even put your Mod Podge in a bowl and just dip it in the bowl. It does get kind of messy, so make sure you put down some kind of, you know, surface, a plastic tablecloth if you're working with kids, well, even adults, right? You just want something that's maybe a little, you know, easier to clean up. So what I did is I just put down a little bit of Mod Podge on the surface, just where I'm starting, and then we can just go from there. I think I will like having something down on the bottom first, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to keep gluing, and I'll probably speed this up because, you know, watching glue dry is not all that exciting, right? But just, you want to make sure that you get everything wet all the way through. So I put it on and then I get it wet with the glue again, just to make sure that there's plenty on there. And as you are adding layers, yeah, it gets a little sloppy around the edges, the rims, but hey, that's part of the fun, right? I'm just gonna glue this up. See what I mean? It gets goopy. Okay, I'm gonna go put it outside to dry, and I will come back and show you the finished product. Okay, so we're back now with the completed pieces, and they're still a little bit pliable in places because it has not completely dried, but it turned out so awesome. I'm really, really pleased. The thing that I would do differently, I think, is make sure that you have at least 3, if not more, layers covering every spot, because on the places where the fabric is thicker, it's a little more sturdy, but I can't tell if it's going to be that way all around after it dries. But I would still think to put multiple layers on top of each other. But look how fun these are. And all I did was I let it dry, then I took it off of the mold or the plastic container, took the saran off, let it dry a little bit more, and then I just took my scissors, and because it's still a little pliable, I could go around and trim the edges off. You could probably take a little piece of sandpaper and smooth it. It's not really rough, but they're just really awesome. I am so glad I tried this project, and it does hold quite a bit. It's not dry all the way, but I can put, I can put stuff in it and it still stands up. So these will definitely be sitting on my craft desk. So you could use these for a multitude of things. You could leave the plastic container in it and put a plant. You can use it on your desk, in your bathroom, in your kitchen. There's lots of places you can use them depending on the mold that you use. Obviously, if you use a shallow bowl, that would work really well. I think I might try one of those as well. But just a fun project, kids or adults. Great way to use up your scraps. So I hope you give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until then, remember, be kind, live, love, laugh, and God bless, and be safe, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.